So far in our implementation, we have assumed that the call to the server always succeeds. But in reality, that's not the case. So here in ng-on-init, we're calling the getPosts method of our service. Let me simulate a scenario where the call to the server fails. So back in post service, I'm going to change the URL to an invalid URL. Let's see what happens. So back in the browser, the list of posts disappeared. But the user looking at this page, they have no clue what is going on. So we need to change our implementation, handle errors, and give proper error messages to our users. When it comes to handling errors, we have two types of errors: unexpected errors as well as expected errors. Now there are three types of unexpected errors. The first type is when the server is offline. So the client sends a request to the server, but the server is not up and running to respond. So that's the first type. The second type is when the network is down. So the server is online, but the client cannot reach it. So when I change the URL here, I simulated this second scenario. We could not reach this destination. Another type of unexpected error is when we have unhandled exceptions in our API. So the server is up and running, the network is fine, we call the server, but because of a bug, that call fails and we get an unhandled exception. So these are all unexpected errors. Now let's take a look at expected errors. Generally speaking, there are two types of expected errors that we need to handle in our implementation: not found error messages and bad requests. What are these? So back to our application. Imagine there are two users looking at the same page at the same time. User A deletes a post here, but that post is still visible on user B's screen. So if they try to delete that post, the server is going to respond with the not found message. In HTTP protocol, that means a response with the status code 404, not found. Whenever we want to get an object from the server or update it or delete it, it is possible that that API endpoint will respond with the 404 message. So that's why we refer to this kind of error as an expected error. Another kind of expected error is bad request. So imagine we're building a sign-up form. Here we need to put a username and a password and perhaps a few other fields. When we call the server to create a new account, it is possible that we have an account with the same username. So in that case, the server may respond with an error message, which we call bad request, and the status code for that kind of message in HTTP protocol is 400. So the server is going to tell the client that, hey, there is an account with the same username. So this is an example of an expected error. So if there is a problem with the data that the client sends to the server is going to respond with bad request, okay? So we need to change our implementation and handle unexpected and expected errors properly. And that's what I'm going to show you next.